Hey y'all, I am Dr. Mayfield. I am a PhD scientist, a researcher, educator, urban homesteader, artist, and creative. Tonight I'm coming as a practicing dietitian. So I saw my last patient, what time is it? A little over an hour ago. It's late. And I wanted to sit down and talk to you before this leaves the top of my mind, because now it's on the top and it does this thing where it just settles down to the bottom and I lose the momentum and energy and a spot or whatever it is I want to say to share. But I've been thinking about it in regards to my patients and also how it's been impacting me as a human living, experiencing some of the same things that my patients are. So, most to give you a little background about some of my patients and what I do. I do nutritional counseling, nutrition education to patients. So, dietitians are healthcare professionals. So, most of my patients are women. They've been ranging in ages from 18, I think, until their 60s. So, late 60s, I think 69, early 70s, may be the oldest, all across the U.S. at this point. So this has been something that I've been thinking about. So I got 6 things that I'm going to share that I think will be of use to you. So the first thing, you don't have to hate yourself. You don't have to hate yourself to improve your health. And I laugh a lot, but you'll be okay with that. Um, so in my job, I'm looking at myself a lot, right? Because it's virtual. So they have a screen, I have a screen. I'm not going to be off screen and just have my voice, right? There's no point in that unless something's amiss or the internet's acting wonky, which sometimes it happens. But I'm on camera more than ever before, and so while I know it, I am seeing all the weight that I have recently gained. Recently, right? So it's been a little while actually, but it's rearing its head as it were. So I've been living life, been experiencing lots of change, just frankly lots of life. And one of the things that I do, frankly, make sure I impress upon my patients and also myself is that at whatever level or weight, whatever it is, I really don't want to hate myself, even while I work on improving my health. And I also tell that to my patients too, because we have this idea of bad food or I know I eat poorly. And I'm like, part of my spiel introducing myself is, sitting at a desk job, 3 Snickers may not be ideal. You're out hiking or you're out somewhere, wilderness, multiple days, you have no other food, those Snickers are going to save your life. And I honestly believe that. Maybe not exactly save your life, but it'll help get you some calories to get out there, right? I don't think they're good in bad foods, right? So yeah, so just you don't have to hate yourself to improve your health. That is my main thing. Is that I've been doing a lot, and it doesn't mean that I have to hate myself and also wanting something different. Even before now, I've never been someone. Even though I think it's useful, I'm also a scientist, so I live around numbers and I live mixed methods researcher too, so I am in the middle of objective, subjective. But I like objective too, right? So I like the idea of photos or something like, oh, that, and I can see that and I can feel that. But I don't want them. I'm going to be honest. I don't want anything that's considered a before or after, because all of it is during. All of it is during till I die, frankly. And I don't think it's too bad to measure, changes in sizes when you do the bodily measurements. I don't think that's bad, but even if I was measuring that, I wouldn't do that every day. Sure as heck wouldn't do it every week. I know they would do that in Weight Watchers, as I used to go with my mom to Weight Watchers, as I'm sure a whole bunch of y'all were the tag along kid going to somebody's Weight Watchers in the church. What is that room? that free room that all sorts of things happen in, that one at somebody's random church that you've never been to and only went when you went to go to Weight Watchers. But here's my takeaway from this. Self-respect and wanting change aren't opposites, and they can coexist. And I frankly think that they have to, especially if whatever changes that you have made, or are making, gonna maintain. Because then what I've also seen with my patients is they beat themselves up for not maintaining changes. And I think our environment supports that, even wants people, especially women, to do that. And it takes time off your life and off your day. I don't think it's good. And I'm just being very human, because I wrestle with some of the things, especially since I'm on camera good part of the day. But I'm embracing, be honest, the jiggles, the rows, the valleys, the variety of things, because that thing that's jiggling is the same part of me that's going to get me to the thing in the place that I really want to be in, regardless of the numbers. That's number one. Second thing that this actually might apply to you. A lot of, when we do an intake, folks list the reasons why they're coming to see a dietitian. And they start off with, I want to lose weight. Most of them come in, say, I want to lose weight, or I want to improve my gut health. Or, some of them know, that my eating is not okay, but they don't know exactly what, which is where, the dietitian is the pinch hitter. But as I talk, my initial intake, get a lot of information. I talk really, really fast. And my East Coastness, as I'm told, I talk fast. But I need to get all the information in. Changes depending upon how much they have to share. But they want to lose weight, but they're not actually eating enough food. Or they're not eating food, like life-giving food. The main nutrient that they may be consuming is carbohydrates, and it's not whole grains. Right, it's not necessarily an abundance of fruit and vegetables. Actually, not necessarily. It is not an abundance of fruit and vegetables. Quite a few come in skipping meals, not drinking enough. But they're talking about, well, I thought it was 2,000 calories a day. Or what about calorie deficit? I'm like, hon, I don't say hon. But my thinking is we're not there yet, because you're not eating enough just to sustain your basic bodily functions. That's the basal metabolic rate. The things that the energy your body needs to function outside of you is the way that I say it. Those things that are involuntary. Like, you need calories for that, in addition to the other things that we add. So yeah, I do a lot of what I think is maybe re-education. Maybe that's the word. I know there's probably another one, but that's the one I'm going with right now. All right. There are better ways to measure progress than weight only. And this may be a little bit controversial, but I want you to, and I'm going to talk more about the scale and the measures and what makes up this pound. But, like I mentioned earlier, some folks come in wanting better gut health. And then when they start to think about it, I had one who reported basically urinating a lot. And I'm like, okay, that could be an early sign of really high blood sugar, diabetes. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Let's get you some lab tests. But when you start talking to them, they know their BM, their bowel movements aren't regular. If they're regular, they're rough. Or there are all sorts of other things that you can imagine. The spectrum of what bowel movements could be, from enjoyable to less so. Let's just put it that way. Your stamina, your energy levels. I do say how clothes fit, because clothes fitting can be a marker. I think of them as pretty measuring tapes, basically, not the size, right? Because the size to some degree is ephemeral. Size 14 in one brand is not going to be the size 14 in another, So that's why I think the clothes fitting just lets you know of something, right? Could be shrunken, could be expansion of your belly, and your hips. That's when I notice, like, oh, okay, the hips that wasn't touching there before, like, okay, and I know You know, it crept up, but it kind of didn't. It did. But anyhow, yeah, being able to take flights of steps. Metrics, things that could tell you about, your cardiovascular health in addition to weight. So now I'm talking about. So here's the thing about the scale. Is that you get a number. You get on the scale, you get a number. There's the bioelectrical impedance that has different error numbers, BIA, different rates that the electricity goes through fat versus goes through lean muscle, and that could give you a measure. If you lean muscle mass and also fat, but my point of usually just using a scale as most, if not all, of my patients do, just gives you one number, and I try to provide context to that. So, what's a pound? This is my Dr. Mayfield explanation. A pound is 16 ounces, right? 16 ounces is also 2 cups of water. So these are approximate numbers. So 2 cups of water weighs around a pound. I think it's 1.04 pounds, right? I do caution my patients about weighing daily because your weight could fluctuate in a day. It's really important to be hydrated, especially in this heat, especially in Atlanta, these places where you sweat a lot. And, a lot of my patients have 40-ounce Stanley. I have my 40-ounce Simple Modern, where you see pictures of me, especially on the road. You'll see me at least with that one or some version of it, right? That's 40 ounces. That's almost 3 pounds, right? So drinking, you get that nice size Chipotle burrito that if you lift that in a regular pound, this is probably a pound of food. You've gained weight, so your weight fluctuates from the food you've eaten, from digestion, from hormones to sleep, and that might not be an indicator of fat that's lost or gained overnight, or even muscle that is gained. So just know, stepping on the scale and getting that one number, I like for my patients to reconsider that, and I'm going to use you as my patient out in the world. So it's one data point. I do encourage our patients to look at some of the others, right? Another ways for you to determine whether or not you've lost and gained weight, and also how you feel. So give yourself some time. Taking it, and when I say this myself too, taking it a minute, an hour, a day, a week at a time, right? Because the days are long, the weeks are short, and I'm literally trying to just live within the day and just make some moves, literal and figurative moves, and know that they'll pile up. So progress definitely compounds. So, I really work towards and tell them I'm about helping you to create habits and skills that lead to something that's sustainable and long term. So that when you stop coming to see me, or your insurance runs out, or whatever, or until we start the new year, you have skills. I don't think that depending upon an app for Here to Eternity is necessarily a skill. How to feed yourself, how to cook, how to think about the food that you have in your kitchen and in your larder, in your pantry. I think that's a skill. Thinking of ways of how to handle really expensive groceries as we are in right now, that can be a skill. Figuring out how to eat foods based on this cycle, I'm going to say it wrong because I didn't get the pronunciation before I started talking. But if there is, I think it's the parasite in leafy greens, from Taco Bell, I'll put it probably up on the screen. Figuring out what other food you eat, that's a skill. I'm also going to be posting about that soon. I'm looking for some data, some information about what in fact you can eat or what's most advisable. So hopefully I get a chance to post on that soon. This is my last one. I also, because patients, they feel, I won't say sense of loss, but of failure when they don't do something that they set out to do, which can be helpful. But for some of my folks who have been yo-yoing or have a lot attached to weight and their value, which the world frankly makes sure that we do, I focus on movement, not just exercise. because a lot of them will say, well, I didn't get to go exercise, so then that means that everything is shot. And I'm like, why not try a 10-minute walk? I talk a lot about the fart walk or postprandial walk that improves rest, improves digestion, hits the fart walk, and also can improve your postprandial blood glucose levels. So postprandial after you've eaten. So like, can you do that and see how you feel? Or just note how you feel, because you may not feel something, but it's working, right? So that's what I focus on. I do think that 10 minutes is the floor, and that for those days that you don't get to the gym, that you still move your tail. So that's what's on my mind tonight. After a full day, I got 2.5 more days this week. I'm working on Friday. I don't usually, but I am this week. So my overall, be kind to yourself. Be kind to myself as well. But if this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what's been on your mind. And I'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Also, if you're inclined, please like and subscribe. It is helpful. I also like the conversations in the comment section. My eye was itching. Sorry. I had to scratch.